People often think that peace is something we find, but peace is often something we create when we stop doing this one simple thing. My name's Matt, and I'm a psychotherapist and meditation specialist, and I help people get their minds working for them rather than against them. And I'm going to show you how on this video, and hopefully how to get a little bit more peace in your life. So why do we find it so difficult to find peace in our everyday life? Why are we always stressed? Why do we always feel that the world is fighting against us? Well, it's one simple thing. It's the fact that we are fighting our reality very often. We can't control external factors. Pain is a part of life. Difficult situations are a part of life. But we often make them worse by resisting them, by telling a story about them, something about ourselves usually, identifying with the bad things that happen to us. Why does it always happen to me? I'm a very unlucky person, I'm a bad person, I'm useless, I never get anything right. All these things that you've probably told yourself when something bad happens. This is what they call in the East the second arrow, that we don't have to fire, and is often more painful than the first arrow. The first arrow is life. It's a difficult situation. It's something that happens to us that we didn't plan for or that we didn't want to happen. That is the first arrow, and it hurts and we don't like it. We feel that initial resistance, oh, I don't want this to happen, going through our minds. And then we start to resist. We resist what's happened. We tell a negative story about it. We fight against it, wishing and wishing and wishing that this thing hadn't happened. And that is the second arrow. And that arrow sticks. That arrow goes very deep. And it can stay there for a long time as we continually resist what's happened. And this is the antithesis to the peace that we're often looking for. So what we need to do is accept reality as it is in the moment. When something bad happens to us, very often we'll get triggered and our stress response will trigger and we'll feel like we want to fight or fly away from the situation. What we need to do is regulate with some breathing, sit down and pause and accept what's happened and ask ourselves, what can I do next to make things better? There's a phrase that I use all the time, and that is, in each moment we are reborn. It's what we do next that matters most. And so we can't help what's just happened. We can't help that negative thing or negative outcome or bad thing that happens to us in the moment. But what we can do is react to it next in a calm, clear way that's going to make things better for ourselves. And we do that by first accepting where we are. Taking a moment to say, yes, this bad thing has happened to me. Acknowledge the emotions that are flooding through the body because of it. Don't deny them. Don't move through with false positivity like lots of people will tell you. Accept where you are. Accept the feelings that are attached. Honor them and then move into the next moment with clarity and calm. When we do this, we start to move through life with peace. We start to become less affected by the things that happen to us. Now, I want to be very clear about this because it often gets misconstrued. This is not just saying I don't care about what happens to me. This is not accepting the bad things in the world and saying they're fine. That is not the case at all. This is not what this is about. And very often when people hear about this idea of acceptance, they think it's passive, that it's surrender, that we don't care about anything, and if something bad happens, we just accept it and move on. And people say, how can you accept the bad things in the world? Acceptance is not about condoning. It's not even about allowing. Acceptance is just saying to yourself that I'm not going to put any resistance into this moment. I'm going to be with it, accept it, and then decide what to do. It's the equivalent of a martial artist, okay? So I do a little bit of martial arts. When I started martial arts, when I used to block punches, I used to be very rigid and I'd really hold my hands hard. And what would happen is I'd get massive bruises on my arms after sessions, okay? Because I was trying to resist every punch that came in. I was holding myself and bracing too hard. And then as I got better at martial arts, I was able to move with the punches. I was able to redirect them with soft hands and with a soft body. And when I did this, not only did I not get any bruises or damage or extra damage, I was actually better. And I was able to get into positions that I wasn't able to before and see things that I wasn't able to before because I wasn't in my stress response. I was just moving with the flow and blocking the punches and not having as much resistance to what was happening. I was accepting the punch in a way. The punch would come or the kick, and I would accept that the punch and kick was there, and then I would move into defending it with a lot less resistance. And this is the mindset that we need to take through life, that punches and kicks are going to come our way. We can't resist them. We can't stop them happening. We can't crunch up against them because that's only going to cause us those extra bruises. The more we can accept, be fluid, move with life as best we can, redirect the negative things that happen to us rather than trying to stop them and deny them. The more we can do this, the easier our life becomes. And we accept things that happen to us that are negatively with more peace, and we start to feel more peace as a result. And sometimes, because we're open, because we're accepting life in this way, we're able to see the positive in the things that happen to us. That negative things don't necessarily seem as negative anymore. That we can see the positive, or at least the next step that will take us in the right direction. And all that comes from is an acceptance of reality. Hopefully this is going to start you connecting to a sense of presence and peace in your life and help you navigate it much more clearly and with much more confidence. If this was useful, then click like and subscribe, or click on our school community if you want to go really deep and learn the whole MindHackers method.